I believe that the reason God created man was for management.
Really? I have never heard it put that way.
The first thing is to be honest with yourself. You can never have an impact on society if you have not changed yourself.
God will never allow growth where there is no management.
Wow, wow, wow.
So instead of praying for things from God, pray for the management ability.
Everything I tell you is true. Everything I open my mouth and I say is correct because heaven directs me on what to say. Eligwe, heaven will tell me and I will tell you it will come to pass in front of your eyes, not behind it. You will see it happening.
God will withhold things from you if you cannot manage them.
When you look at the facts that something around 1 million people perished as a result of the actions of the British and Russian and Nigerian federal governments.
Vis-a-vis what we see in Nigeria, which is truly not, it should not be surprising. Look, what's happening in Nigeria is barbarous. It's horrible. I mean, it's complete madness, yet it's not a priority. The United States unilaterally could do almost anything it needs to do. It would be a long-term effort, but it could be done. And the United States has the capability. All the elements of power, we have those.
So why not?
It's not a priority. That's the problem. We are committed elsewhere in the world. Black West Africa is not a priority.
Anybody who changes his principles depending on whom he is dealing, that is not a man who can lead a nation.
Excuse me. Can't tell me. No way. When the time comes, it's okay. What stupid country is this? So when you see you try somebody's secret, when you like, you try secret. When you like, it's in public. What stupid country is that? What stupid country is that? I ask you. When you like, you try in secret. When you like, you try in private. They are killing my people. They are killing my people. They are killing They are killing my people. After killing my people, you tell me what to tell in secret. The person is mad. Completely mad. Tell Buhari, that's what I said. That he is mad. He cannot tell me. He cannot tell me. He's a madman. There's a contempt of court proceedings here. Contempt of court. They don't obey court order. They don't obey court order. You're telling me secret trial. Is the person mad?
I, Nnamdi Kanu, will sacrifice anything sacrificable to make sure that Biafra comes.
We hereby declare no election, no 2023 general election in Biafra land. This no election in Biafra land has been activated. We are going to make it a task that must be done by every Biafran. All measures will be put in place to make sure the adequate civil disobedience is implemented to stop the election in Biafra land.
the meaning of discovery? It means to bring to light something that is buried on the ground. If you can accept that, then you know that Biafra is coming. There is nothing man can do about it. It's too late. Way, way too late. The countdown has begun. Good to have you one more time again. Today, Thursday, the 16th day of February 2023. I want to welcome you to this live broadcast on Recreating Biafra program. It's my pleasure to host you again and to also have you here. And I'm appreciating every one of you for joining. And as much as you join, please like this video and send on all your social media platforms, because we're going to be discussing very critical things today. Very, very critical, because we're getting close to the end of Nigeria. Nigeria is ending, and Nigeria is helping us to end itself. That is basic, because God is going to do it by himself. It's not going to be them doing of any man, because if it is about man, we don't have what it takes. We don't have the arms. We don't have. It's just like Israel when Goliath came against Israel. Israel had arms, but their arms were not enough. Israel had everything, but they were not having enough. They just needed a divine intervention to make things work, and that's what God has decided to do this time. And that is why you must understand that the battle is not yours, it's not mine, it's not anybody's, but it's of the Lord. And of course, of the Lord, we're going to get a victory. I want to welcome you today to this live broadcast today, of course, and I want to tell you that just relax yourself, and we're going to navigate this through also and look at the criticalness of what Nigeria has done to people. My name is Kelechi Ambrose, and this is Biafra Global Network. I want to welcome you all. I want to thank you all for joining, and this is Recreating Biafra program. Recreating Biafra program. I want you to first understand that your role in the liberation of Biafra cannot be underestimated. You have to understand that in spite of the fact that you are out there watching, you have a role to play in this thing. And that is why you must understand that the nation of Biafra is a nation that will be built by the people. And your role is very, very important in this. But before we go into this, I want to welcome you, those of you who are sending your messages. I thank you. Emmanuel Chubike, you are the first person to send a message. I appreciate you for being the first and also sending your message. And Noah Lane, of course, I thank you always. You will always send a message. And of course, a hi for that matter. Thank you so much. Kinsley Odumegu, thank you. The third person who have sent a message. And Blessing Ngozi, thank you for joining. And of course, Kinsley says I should keep the fire burning. Definitely. I'll keep it burning, and we'll keep it burning together as much as we do what we have to do in our corners regarding our freedom. I want to thank you, Blessing Ngozi, for joining. And those of you who are watching who have not sent a message, you are free to send a message. You have a query, you have something in your mind, you want to say, you have something that bothers you, or a question you want to ask, or something that concerns the whole thing about the liberation and the fight for freedom that we're talking about. You have a question or whatever, contribution, whatever you want to do and want to send, you can send it. And as much as that, of course, if you want the number to call in, I can give out the number. Of course, I'll give out the number later in the program. First, I want us to look critically in the why I said that what we're doing is spiritual. When Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was here, before he's gone away for a while, the Nigeria government and the British system think that they have dealt with him. They thought taking him away was in their power, but they never knew that God assigned it to be because of what he's intending doing in the lives of Biafrans and for Biafra. And one thing that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu stood for is transparency, consistency, truth, and making sure that the right thing is done at all times. And that is what has set the principle, or the principles, those are the principles, basically for the operation of the Biafra we're looking forward to. And of course, I want to make you understand that these principles must be actively put in place. That means each of us must walk in truth. We must work in transparency. We must be true to our conscience. The most important thing is that you must be true to your conscience. And if you have a soiled conscience that is dead, then you must weigh it on the principles of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. If your conscience is dead, you will know, because if everything you do goes against the principles, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who is the icon and the cynosure of what Biafra represents, then you know that your conscience is found wanting, and then there's a need for a surgery, a mind surgery, so that you can have you can come back to form and become a human being again. And that is why we do these programs. In spite of the fact that we have mind surgery show every Monday, every day of our program also stands has the ability to transform your mind and make you walk in the dimension of truth, transparency, and speaking out. When you see something, you say something. That is what the logo is and what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu represents. I want to welcome you. First, I want you to understand that when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped, the government of Nigeria, the British contraption, thought that his kidnap was going to be, the end of Biafra. Of course, we all know this. But funny enough, you see, when prophecies are out, people who are not in the spirit don't understand prophetic things. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, before he was kidnapped and extraordinarily renditioned, always said something. He said that, in fact, I'm waiting. I want them to kill me, because when they kill me, Biafra will come quicker. When you kill me, Biafra will come quicker. Thank you so much, Obi Biafra, Team Biafra. Team Biafra. Thank you so much, Obi. GCK, one name. Thank you so much, Obi. I appreciate you for joining. And I say welcome to the program, my sister. Good to see you here, as always. Now, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu made prophetically, he said, in fact, when you kill me, Biafra comes faster. And maybe they thought that killing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is when they physically kill him, and then he's dead. Taking Mazi Nnamdi Kanu or malhandling him, or taking him away, or doing what you did to him, torturing him, kidnapping him, extraordinarily renditioning him, and doing all of this evil against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is another way of killing him. And once you did that, you just made the prophecy to come to pass. And that is what our people must understand. We must understand that the prophecy Mazi Nnamdi Kanu made concerning the fact that, in fact, if you kill me, then you make Biafra come quicker, because that is when the actions will come against you. And I want you to understand that prophetically and in the realm of the spirit, killing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not until he's physically killed and dead. But killing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is when you carry out the activities of death against him, and that alone is tantamount to bringing Biafra. And obviously, we can see that Nigeria is collapsed already. It's not collapsing, it's collapsed already. You can testify to that. You can, those of you abroad can call your people. Of course, you hear the news, you get the news, you're on social media, you get the activities going on. And of course, that has prompted the extraordinary rendition of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, has prompted several activities pointing to the fact of what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu represents. One, it has pointed to the fact that it is bringing Biafra very quickly. It is pointing to the fact that the touching Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has actually brought about Biafra liberation. And so Nigeria brought doom on itself when it touched Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Again, the kidnap of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu helped to discover saboteurs, helped to discover ill attitudes, actions that negate truth, that negates transparency, that negates the spirit of Biafra, and that negates the expectations. You can see all of that, in the defunct DOS. You can see that they were exposed. You can see even in autopilot, you see most people have been exposed, and of course, lots of things that we are seeing in Nigeria that were being played in Biafra or in IPOB before Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was taken. And as soon as Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was taken, these things became obvious. That is when we now started seeing that these people were actually using Biafra as a family meeting to siphon money from people. And we began to see the impunity. Anybody comes up and sacks anybody, anybody comes up and does anything because they are in a position. We began to see all of these things. And one thing that you should understand about the extraordinary rendition of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, permitted by Chukwu Okike, is that he wants to use this opportunity to get rid of all of this insanity. He wants to use this opportunity to get rid of everything that stands like a face of Nigeria in Biafra. So God takes Mazi Nnamdi Kanu away and then begin to reveal, we begin to see these things which we are ready to fight. And that is why I said that Biafra is about you and I. It is not for some people to run. It is for you and I, as much as Simon Ekpa has been given the mandate by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and ordained by heaven to lead this movement. We all must stand behind him, and we must all stand side and shoulder to see that the spirit of Biafra is maintained in everything we do, in the activities that play, and to see that we don't have the activities of Nigeria playing in Biafra. Because if that happens, then there's no need for us to leave Nigeria. And there's no need for you to fight against what is killing you, and at the same time drag what is killing you into you to kill you. It doesn't make sense. You must understand these things in those facts. So Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's extraordinary rendition and kidnap was a divine program to make Nigeria understand that God is going to bring Biafra, but he is going to also supernaturally create the atmosphere, design the atmosphere that Nigeria itself will implode. And Nigeria itself will be destroyed by its own activities and its own actions. And along that line, God is going to sanitize and is going to bring about sanity in the system and taking away every spirit of Biafra. Every spirit of Nigeria from Biafra. Now, that is obvious by activities that have been happening recently. God is opening our eyes to see the impunity, the evil, and all of these things people are trying to drag into Biafra coming from Nigeria. God begins to reveal these things, and God begins to use people, you and I, to expose them so that we might remind ourselves that it is about God's purpose. That is why Biafra is coming. Biafra is not coming because we need to have another nation or there should be a nation somewhere. Biafra is coming because God wants to create a people that will be a cynosure of evidence of his will and his ways to humanity. That is why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said that Biafra will be the last miracle, because Biafra is going to portray to the world the kind of life, the kind of nationhood, the kind of spirit, the kind of conscience God expects of humanity. And so in Biafra, we are not going to have impunity. We're not going to have, segregation. We're not going to have, shutting down people. We're not going to have, attacks on truth, justice, equity, good conscience, and all of that. Thank you so much, Azuke and Felix. Thank you so much for your message. You said, Mazi Kelechi, God bless you. Well done. Thank you so much, my brother Azuke Felix. Thank you so much for that message. I want to appreciate you. And so God wants to use the kidnap of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to bring about the sanity in the system, and at the same time to quickly facilitate, because as much as God is bringing sanity, God is also facilitating the liberation of Biafra. That's why you see the topic today, Nnamdi Kanu and Biafra liberation. And then we'll now look at the other details. Now you have to understand this, that the sophisticated implication of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's extraordinary rendition and kidnap is for the correction of anomalies and errors. And God wanted to use somebody else to do that. God wants to keep Mazi Nnamdi Kanu somewhere for a while, of which the enemies think that they actually are holding him. And if they knew that they were if they knew that kidnapping, or let's take it to the point of Christ now, if they knew that crucifying the King of Kings, was going to bring about a damnation to their souls and all of that, they wouldn't have even attempted it. If they knew that the crucifixion of Christ would bring redemption and cause him to excel above, and his name would be lifted above all names, and as his name every knee shall bow, of things in heaven, of things on earth, of things under the earth, and every tongue shall confess that Jesus is Lord, or Yeshua is the Lord, they wouldn't have crucified him. If they knew that crucifying him or torturing him or putting him through that program of thinking, intending that he's going to be destroyed, if they knew that that program would bring him glory, bring glory to his name, bring glory to God and all of that, they wouldn't have crucified him. The same way, if they knew that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's kidnap, extraordinary rendition, and all of these things, atrocities that Britain cooked with their proxy people, the Fulanese and all of the agents working under the Fulanese, if they knew that the activity of kidnapping Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will make them begin to sing the song of all we are saying, like Soludo and Co are doing. If they knew that kidnapping Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will make somebody like Rochas to come all out to begin to say, please release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and for sanity. If they knew that kidnapping Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will make Soludo put billboard and say release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. If they knew that kidnapping Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will make them to begin to say that releasing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will bring sanity and peace to Southeast, if they knew that kidnapping Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will put them in danger, in harm's way, and all of them are being afraid of their lives right now, if they knew that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's life kidnapping him would bring about even tension in the north, in the south, in the west, in the east, and all of that. If they knew that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will put their economy in jeopardy, if they knew that kidnapping Mazi Nnamdi Kanu would bring about more of the prophecies to manifestation, they wouldn't have done so. That is what has just happened. But that is why you should understand that spiritual things overrun or override the physical. Because spiritual things actually regulate what happens in the physical. Because when things are already designed in the realm of the spirit, they become effectively, coordinated in the realm of the physical. And that is why you have to understand your place in these things. Yesterday, I told you that when you finding yourself in this generation is because you are intended not just to occupy space, but to exude that space as a means of profit to humanity. Which means where you are right now as a human being is a space that is so expensive. It's so expensive that you are allowed to occupy it. It's so expensive that money cannot buy it. So if you allow yourself to be bribed by anybody, then you have sold that space that is more valuable than anything that is natural. That means you have shown to God that you are less of value of who you are, and you have shown to God that you are not worth that space, and then God takes you quickly. That's why God always destroys the wicked, because it is obvious that they came into a space that is so valuable and so important to God, and yet they come into that space and use that space, exuding that space in the expression of evil and expression of things that are less of that space, looking for money, looking for who will give them money to bribe them to go and do evil, and looking for how they're going to involve in corruption, looking for how they're going to involve in wickedness and all of that. And God begins to deal with them by understanding and making them understand that this space I created you to occupy is necessary for the productive enhancement of my glory in the minds of people, and for the glory of my name to be made evident by you becoming a value to humanity. Thank you so much, Mary. Mary K says, greetings, Brak Kim. I have become Brak Kim, my God. I may want to say Brak Kel. Okay, Mary, you want to say Kel. So I understand that, the Lord bless your strength and give daily grace, wisdom, and protection. Amen. Biafrans appreciate your work for our new nation. Thank you so much, Mary. I appreciate you. I appreciate you too. I appreciate it too. So thank you so much. Mrs. Adazarian says, good afternoon, Brother Kelechi. Thank you, ma'am. You're welcome. I appreciate it too. Thank you so much for joining. I know you will always join and all of that. So you have to understand that you have been designed and created to give Biafra the definition of what God intends. Now, let me tell you something. If you find an evil in Biafra and you don't speak of that evil, you have made yourself less of what God expects you to be. 2, if you find something of good that you need to do for Biafra and you refuse to do it, but rather you join enemies to destroy Biafra, then you have made yourself of less value to what God has intended for you to be for Biafra. And so that means that on the positive side, on the negative side, if you are found wanting for Biafra, then it means that you are wasting the space God has given to you, and you are telling God that you are not worth the space and you are not worth this generation. Because the reason why he puts you in this generation of Biafra is to see that the Biafra that comes is of his will through you and through what he has put in you. And we go Nemeka, greetings, Mazi. Hope I'm not late. I didn't get notification that you're online. Always thank God for your life, my brother. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I don't know why the notification does not come. I don't know why it doesn't come. But before I continue, this, this gospel today, or exposition today, or speaking to you and encouraging you, and this Recreating Biafra program, of course, which is of course connected to the mind surgery show, because what we're doing here is to try to carry surgery on the minds of the people. I want you to understand. I'm going to play a particular video that that is funny. It's a short, funny video, but it's a video that expresses and shows you what is happening today in Nigeria. Now I'm going to explain it in the context of what I mean by what is happening today in Nigeria. The problem about Nigeria is this: Nigerians seem to always go to buy drugs to treat symptoms rather than seeking for prognosis to deal with the ailment. So which means that for you to actually carry out prognosis, you need to diagnose. And in the sphere of diagnosis, you require complexity. It's complex because you require the right tools to actually discern and to know. But funny enough, in the context of Nigeria, the right tools are available because obviously people can see the symptoms and they know. Basically, most people know where the problem is. Basically, most people understand why the problem is. And maybe they don't understand, maybe they just understand the symptoms. And that is the problem. When you only know about symptoms, then you are going to always have the wrong prognosis. What's prognosis? That's treatment. Now, let me use the words you can understand. Those of you who may not understand, I know some of you understand anyway. Now, it's funny because if you can look at it in the life of an average Nigerian, whenever they have headache, the next thing they want to do is to go and buy Panadol. Am I correct? Or paracetamol. That is how they are wired. You know, that's how they understand. And that is the same thing they do to their lives in Nigeria. You know, that's how they see, that's how they move with the government. That's how they move with the name Nigeria. Now, somebody is having a headache or somebody begins to have stomach pain somewhere. They go to buy maybe Gelacil or something. Say, I have stomach pain, I want to take. They don't see it as a need to go. Why am I having this consistent headache? Why? Then you go for diagnosis. And then they now begin to think if this headache is as a result of a particular ailment inside of you that is threatening to your life, or if it is just out of stress or out of emotional, situation and all of that. Now, that symptom must be linked to the right cause. Before you carry out treatment, you must understand the link between the symptom and the cause of the symptom. Now, before we go there, I'm going to play this short video so that you can understand, because I want us to understand some things here, because I don't know why people I thought should be reasonable are going after election. And the reason why I'm doing these teachings in this period is to target the issue of election and get more people to win more people over to understand that election is just a huge problem, or exposes their ignorance. Seeking for election exposes your stupidity, ignorance, and foolishness. Remember, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu talked about foolishness yesterday as I played. I'm going to play it here again. Before I play the video I want to play, I'm going to play that funny video later. After this video, I'm going to play about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, yesterday's statement, when he talked about how foolish our people are going for what is killing them. That means they pursue after symptoms. For instance, I'm going to explain why I'm going to play the second video, which talks about, which is very funny. Some of you will laugh, but I'm going to tell you why I played it and interpret it in the context of what we're discussing today. Mwaba Chijoke says, good evening, my dear brother. Thank you so much, my brother. Good evening to you also where you are. I appreciate you for joining. And thank you. Please, as you're joining, share this video on all of your social media platforms. We want to get more people informed. We want to get one Nigerian is to be informed. We want to get those who are chasing after, election to be informed. Now, this just reminded me something now. Do you know that I read something on social media, on Twitter, and somebody was saying that, hey, that imagine this Eperima, this evil guy in Finland, God don't catch you, blah, 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 blah. Mazi Nnamdi is even better. That is why he likes Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. But we know that you cannot stop what is going on. That means you can't stop the election and all of that. That means he must sit at home. And I begin to wonder, you are hailing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu now, but yet you are pursuing after election. Does Mazi Nnamdi Kanu represent election? Is he standing for election? Is he part of the election? No. So how can you hail him? It's hypocrisy. We'll talk about that more, but it's clear hypocrisy, which means because you think that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is where you people have put him, now you can now use him, you can now play, a psychological game around it, using it as a cynosure to express your hypocrisy, to tell us how Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is better, because he's now held somewhere. If he was free, you wouldn't have said so. But because he's held somewhere, you think you have him under your arms and under your control, and you think you can also come now and begin to think that you can now play a game to make it look like Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is just what you need and what you believe in. And yet you don't believe in his principles. You don't believe in what he's pursuing. He said no election, you are going for election, and you said you believe in Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, he's the best, and all of that you believe in. That's why you like him. You are just outrightly stupid. But anyways, let me go to the video first, and then we can now go further from there.
In 1999, they rigged election, they looted the treasury. In 2003, it was 2003, you voted again. The treasury was looted. 2007, you went back to vote for another change. The treasury was looted. 2011, did you not go there? The treasury was looted. Each time you vote for them, they steal from you. And you know the funniest thing? Next time when they call you to go and vote, you will also go out to vote. That makes you an idiot. That's why you're a baboon, you're a monkey. You can't reason very well. On a most of that's the saying of our people. If a road is so beautiful, you go that way. If you go on a road that the footsteps you see is only the one going, none coming back, you should turn back and go. That means it's not safe. This is something, the tales they used to tell us by the moonlight when we were small. You are now going into a forest. All the prints, the footprints you can see on the road is leading inside the forest. That is none leading back. No footstep coming back, only going in. If you go into that forest, an evil forest, you will die there. You have been voting all your life, there is no improvement. Why do you still go to vote? I'm just asking. Oh, sorry, please. You're a baboon or a monkey, and you're a Nigerian, isn't it? A very foolish idiot you must be.
Now, you see, this confirms what I say, that is either you are a Nigerian or an intellectual. The same thing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said. You see, why you go to vote is because you're a baboon, you're a monkey, and you're a Nigerian. That means being a Nigerian means that you don't have sense. That's what it means. So confirming the same prophetic, utterance from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, which I always say is either you are a Nigerian or you are an intellectual. You can never be an intellectual and be a Nigerian. It's a 180 degrees thing, it's apart, it's not, it's just like when you in school, they tell you about words and opposite. The word here now is Nigeria, then the opposite is intellectual. The word here is Nigerian, the opposite is intellectual. So you see, when you are a Nigerian, you cannot be just like when you say the opposite of good is evil. There's no way you can be good and then at the same time be evil. Just like Christ said, you can't serve two masters. It's either you serve God or you serve Mammon. So there are two different things. You see, there are parts. So when you are a Nigerian, you are not an intellectual. So Mazi Nnamdi Kanu confirmed it here that because you are a Nigerian, you will always go again to vote, because as a Nigerian, your brain is stunted, your brain is in comatose, your reasoning faculty is suspended. You don't have the ability to reason. You don't have the ability to process information. You don't have the ability to actually walk in even, Prince would always say, Princess M would always say that it is better you are an animal so that we understand, because as animal, we can predict you. But, when you want to try to behave like an animal, you actually behave lower than an animal, because an animal operates on instinct. And of course, you can predict an animal. You can tell how a snake will operate. You can tell how a cobra will operate. You can tell how a lion can operate. You can tell that when lion sees you, all it wants to do is to attack you. You can tell how it pursues its prey. You can even tell us how a dog would behave, how a German shepherd would behave, how the other kind of dogs would behave. You can tell of different animals. You can tell how a cat will react and how a cat will behave. You can tell of all of these things based on their instincts. You understand? Because we have come to understand that they have a one-way method, of operating. So it is understood in that light. But because you want to behave like an animal and think like an animal, you behave lower than an animal. And what makes you behave lower than an animal is because you have a sense of reasoning. But because your sense of reasoning is in comatose, it doesn't function in the proper order. It begins to malfunction and using your emotion and diverting your emotion to the wrong approach to your will. And so your will goes on bringing out odds and evil and all of this stuff in line with an emotional expectation or desire, which is faulted based on the fact that it is not subject to the right dimension of your thinking faculty or your reasoning faculty. Your reasoning faculty has been plunged into the realm of cagey obstruction that is out of place and faulted for the fact that it has been actually dealt with based on slavery and all of these things that have happened to you. So your thinking faculty has become bastardized. So what it does is that it prompts your emotion wrongly, because when it wants to process information on your emotional level, of course, where your desires are, it's now false truth, false right judgment, and distorts the ability to reason properly. And then your will engages your emotion wrongly by exuding or portraying the wrongs that come with it. God is with you, Mazi Kelechi. Thank you so much. Okay, we have a message from from Joseph Favor. Joseph Favor says, "All hail Biafra, our land filled with honey." Thank you so much, Joseph. Yes, our land filled with honey, and that's why we're working so hard to go back to our land, because we want to go back to our land and because it's filled with honey. Now, I'm going to, I don't know whether people are getting the main facts of what I'm talking about. The main fact is that they listen without understanding. Yes, thank you so much, Noelin. They listen without understanding, because they cannot understand, because their reasoning faculty is faulted. It's out of place. God is with you, Mazi Kelechi. Thank you so much, Udoka Wonsu. That the main fact is that they listen without understanding. It's from Noelin Odiambo. Thank you so much, Noelin, for that. Now, patience, thank you, Patience Akpan. Sorry, not Patience Akpan. Good to have you. It's a while I saw you, but good to have you today. Greetings to you, my brother. Well done. You are doing a great job. Keep it up. God is by your side, but I want you to stand for the truth. Of course, definitely, I will stand for the truth. That is why most people will castigate me, because I will always stand for the truth. I will not have much friends. I will not be accepted in the whole thing, because I stand for the truth. Anything that faults Biafra, anything that will spoil our chances when we get into Biafra and be an endangerment or endanger our interest in truth, I stand against it. And that's what I represent. So I might not be your friend like that, in that light, because whatever I see wrong, I would always fight it. And that is my stance. And that is what God has created me to do in Biafra. I'm not looking for position. I don't want to be voted president. I don't want to be voted anything. I don't want to get any position. I don't care about that. I am concerned about the interest of the Biafra people. If the Biafra people tomorrow say they want me to serve, no problem, I will serve. But if my service is going to be for me to tell lies, or to to fight, to work against truth so that I will win your favor, then forget it. I'm not ready for that. I'm ready for the truth, and I stand for the truth at all times. Ogidi Phillips says, "Good evening." Thank you so much, Ogidi Phillips. Now, the next video I'm going to play is a video that will express the kind of mindset of Nigerians. It is a funny video clip. I'm going to play it twice. It's funny. You are going to laugh, but you get the message. Now, I want to ask everybody this question, because I want us to reason together. God was telling the people of Israel in the book of Isaiah, chapter 1, verse 48 or so. He said, "Come now and let us reason together, says the Lord. Though your sins be as scarlet, they shall be as white as snow. Though they be red like crimson, they shall be as wool." Now, ask this question. Let's think now. Let's help the Nigerians think. Why is that guy fighting a donkey? Now, what is the benefit of this fight? What would that fight benefit that guy? I can see Lynn says, hey, Kelechi, greetings. Good to you, Lynn. Good to have you here. Hey to you too. Good to have you. Onyekachi is laughing and Azubuike Felix, they're laughing. No. Now, let's look at it. Today, let me bring it down to the context of Nigeria. Today, everywhere, the people are out there revolting, protesting. Ask yourself, they are not looking at the cause of the problem. I wish they will all come all out the way they are right now, going to break banks and destroy banks and fight all these fights and all of that. I wish they will come all out now as they are doing this to say that we want referendum. That would have made a very reasonable fight. But you know what? The fights they are fighting now, this protest they are fighting, is like treating the symptoms rather than looking for the source. And this is tantamount to what that guy is doing with the donkey. What are you fighting the donkey for? What would you achieve? No money in the country, that's what the Bogidi Flip says. But the truth is that why is there no money in the country? Is it the banks that is the cause? Is it breaking the banks that will bring about the solution? No, because they are like fighting the donkey. Why are you fighting the donkey? Why would a human being fight a donkey? Because there is something wrong with their brain. Something is wrong somewhere. Because as much as I can see, I don't know how that donkey poses a threat to that guy. But because he wants to, maybe they have told him, let's see how you're going to fight a donkey. And somebody was there watching them and videoing him. Fighting unto futility. That fight does not bring any result. That fight does not bring any addition. That fight does not give you, does not make you achieve anything. Fighting the symptoms in Nigeria today does not give you. I expect every young person now to know that all this, they should think right now and say, for God's sake, every time we are having problem from these same politicians, why not we stand tall and say, now we want to fight for the right cause. Let's fight for a referendum. We have been asking you for restructuring. For 8 years, you came in deceiving us that you are going to restructure. Now we have seen that you are not ready to restructure and you are still calling us into another election. We are not more going to fight for that. We are now saying we want referendum. Now let's debate it. Let's fight it. That is when those fights would have been reasonable. But now what are they fighting for? No money. Now that the so-called Buhari has come to make an announcement today and told them that they can now use the money to fight, to buy things, you will see that everybody will now go back home. They have they have succeeded. To them, they have solved the symptom. But they don't know that something bigger is coming. Their neck, that is where Boko Haram is coming for. For you to protest against, that is abomination in Sharia. Don't you know that this protest is abomination in Sharia? It's just like what is happening with the Taliban. But because they have not fully instituted it, they are looking for a way to conquer you, so that next time, by the time they conquer you, you will not be able to come out like this to protest. So they want you to vote so that they can now fulfill their Islamization program. Then next time they bring about this kind of laws that would kill you, you will not be able to come out to protest, but because by then you have used your vote to help them conquer you. And then when they conquer you at that point in time, you will not be able to, by then they have instituted Sharia fully on you. Under Sharia, you cannot protest like that. They'll kill you. You see in Iran, they are hanging people for protesting. What caused the protest? A girl was wearing a hijab, but she was not wearing it well. And they beat her up. The so-called morality police beat her up and killed her. And people came out to protest. They were killing the people. Now, I'm going to take you back to, that video because Joke says, please play it again. I'm going to play it again about 4 or 5 times again because so that it will be, as it plays, you'll be reasoning. I want people to be reasoning and looking at it in the light of Nigeria and looking at it, how foolish Nigeria youths are. And that's why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu say, you're a baboon, you're a monkey. The reason why they are doing this, all this protest you are seeing everywhere in Ibadan, and two was shot dead yesterday in Ibadan because of this protest. The reason why they are dying, it's not because they want to correct the sickness. They want to destroy the source. They are fighting the symptom, and they are dying for fighting the symptom. I'm going to play it one more time. Maybe 2, 3, 4, or 5 times more, so that you can enjoy it at the same time. understand it in the light. And I hope that Nigerians are watching, because not intellectuals are watching and getting the messages, but I want Nigerians also to get the message from this. You know, the funny thing about this video is that they now give it a very interesting song. And that is what is happening in Nigeria. They are fighting the wrong cause and they are celebrating. It's just like when we were involved in the NSAS, you know, then at Lekki Together, we were playing, you know, artists were coming to play songs. Maybe you can look at it, people will say, okay, trying to entertain the people, to make the people feel lively. But we were playing music, dancing to our stupidity. We were fighting the wrong cause. But even if we wanted to make it metamorphose into a kind of revolution, and, you know, some of us were killed, we actually went it the wrong way. Because if we had come out with the real intention and everybody agrees that this is what we want to achieve, maybe by now there would have been a total disintegration of Nigeria since 2020. And then even coming out in December would have helped the whole matter as at that time, because the people have escalated it and held it on, and then as CSN, in fact, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu would have prompted ESN, then ESN would have come in at that point in time to now settle the issue for Biafra nation, and then Oduduwa BC and all of that will now come out to help the people and dislodge the military. I don't know whether we understand that. Now let me just go to your message before I keep, I go on to that video and then explain further the things we're talking about here. I want to look at your messages and know your thoughts about this video and what you think about this video and your mindset about everything that's happening in the zoo, Nigeria. Maybe he's trying to eat his food. No, says maybe he's trying to eat his food. I don't say what kind of food that donkey wants to eat, that you start wrestling with donkey like that, and you now begin to, all those giddy go fight you to fight. Then you now put your leg and cross for the person to fall, and then you now begin to struggle with the person on the ground and begin to, oh Lord have mercy. You said, oh my God, no, Ellen, you're very funny. Well, no money in the country. Philip says, well, no money does not mean that I should fight the symptoms. Anyways, Mazi Nnamdi, thank you so much, Oli Chinwago. Thank you for joining. Now, let me see your message. Good afternoon, Mazi. Akachuko Kikea Biama. Thank you so much. It's been a while. I saw you. I've seen you here, but it's good to have you. Absolutely nonsense fight. The fight makes no sense. Onikachi Eke have said it makes no sense. It doesn't point to anything normal. It doesn't make sense. Play it again. It's interesting. Chijoke, I'm just looking at the interesting side of this video, but I'm looking at the message it conveys. Especially, I want you guys to say, cut this side and with the narrative to it and send it to Nigerians wherever they are, especially those ones who are protesting, who are just busy breaking banks and risking their lives until the military will be sent now to shoot some of them and they die. And when they die now, they say they were fighting for their nation, Nigeria, their country. I pledge to Nigeria, my country, and they die for nothing. If this guy dies fighting this donkey now, if the donkey now harms him or hits him somewhere now, he dies. He has fought and died for nothing. Fighting the sin does not give you victory. The video is not clear. What is the big circle thing? He said the video is not clear. Noelin, the big circle thing. Which big circle thing? The program in the country is only God. The program in the country is only God. Ogidi Philip. That's the situation in the country you're trying to say. Okay. Adota says, yes, so I am answerable to God, not to man. Therefore, yes, let everyone insult me for standing for the truth is well. Yes, of course. If you insult me for standing for the truth, if you abuse me, if you do anything, I don't care, because I believe my conscience is clean and I do what God have told me to do. God have called us to be, to gatekeepers. If you understand what it means to be a gatekeeper, it simply means that you should understand that you as a Biafran, you are a gatekeeper. Whenever something goes wrong, you should be able to make sure that it's corrected. That's why you're the Vicky. And says, God bless you. For nothing stands the test of time more than the truth. Maintain your stand. Thank you so much, Vicky. Thank you for that encouragement. I appreciate you for that. Thank you. Onyekachi and Onyekachi AK says, sensible and reasonable fight in demand for referendum. Yes, sensible. Now, that is why we're talking about identifying the source of the problem and treating the source rather than treating the symptoms. Monkey Dabrichi says, greetings, Mazi Nnamdi. Thank you so much, Monkey K. So, well, I didn't see you yesterday. Did I see you yesterday? I don't think so, but good to have you today. And Chijoke says, Kelechi, you are totally correct in your speech. Thank you so much, Kelechi, for that. Did I say Kelechi? Chijoke, sorry. A misplaced priority. Onyekachiku says, it's a real misplaced priority. You understand? You can imagine that kind of fight. God is this country. God is this country. Philip, please clarify what you mean that God is this country. As Felix says, this is stupidity in the highest order. I don't understand that fight, honestly. Well, I think he's stopping the horse from the water hole. No, I don't think. They actually were making it as a game, these are bookies and all of these people. It's not even a horse, it's a donkey, and they just go on unnecessary activities. The network is cracking. Kelvin Posioni says the network is cracking. Please, someone confirm for me to know if the network is cracking so that I can refresh. When you protesting and get killed, that is when the protest will be taken to the extreme. Yes, that is when it will be taken to the extreme. But in the zoo, once you get killed, everybody will go home. You have become Sarah. That is why I said they always fight the wrong battle. And Chijoke says, Purple cry face. Okay. Chijoke, thank you. And exactly what's happening in Nigeria, stupidity, Mary K says, and yes, that is what is happening in Nigeria. The high level of stupidity, restructuring is only the way forward. Chukwu Emeka says restructuring is the only way forward. But I can tell you that restructuring is not even the way forward. That's the truth. Because restructure from now till tomorrow, you will still have problems along the line. They may not be as complex as what you have when you don't restructure, but when you restructure, you still have problems. Because even in that confederacy, you'll still have that problems in the confederacy, where the tribes will still be struggling in the center, where you have the capital. And in spite of the fact that you have you have autonomy to your region or to your nation, you'll still have that problem and clashes, because the interest here is not the same. Your interest with Fulani is not the same. What they want to achieve is not the same. What the Oduduwa people want to achieve is not even the same. As much as we have similar things, that can bring us together with the Oduduwa nation, what they want to achieve in line with their culture and tradition is not the same with what Biafra wants to achieve in line with culture and tradition. It's even worse of what Fulani wants to achieve, or the Hausa nation, or the Middle Belt. So it's a complex situation. To restructure, you still have to deal with these factors. And that is why it is important to look at getting your sovereignty so that you don't have the issues of tribal differences and tribal fights. Any fight that has to do with tribe and culture and religion is always deadly, because of the undertone. It goes with, why it's so deadly? It goes with emotion. At that point of, tribe, religion, and all of that, the thinking faculty of people is distorted. Their emotion takes over their sense of ability or their reasoning faculty. Their emotion overwhelms their sense of reasoning, and their will is driven at that point by their emotion. And so it becomes deadly. It becomes deadly. That is why you can see people who are belong in cults. Even if it's 10 years after you have killed their people, they want to revenge. It is like the religion. It's still part of the religious state we're talking about. Migwe says, Nemeka says, the video explains exactly the brain of a typical black man, brown-colored man. We are brown. We're not black. Don't take the narrative of these people who have painted us and made us to think that we are black. Because what they mean by black is not actually the skin color. They mean that we are negative and they are positive by calling themselves whites, because their skins are not white. Our skin Look at me now. Am I white? Am I black? I'm not black. You are not black. So why do we allow that narrative they sell to us? Black. Take it by the color, the way it is. We are brown. They are yellow, or some of them are pink, some of them are red, some of them are, depends on where they are from. You know, but we have noticed some of them are milk colored. So they are not white. And we're not black. You can call us black when we're not black. You know, fighting himself, thinking he's fighting somebody. How can somebody be burning bank instead of the source? That is what we're talking about, my sister. Fighting the symptom, going to buy paracetamol, whereas maybe you have, a tumor somewhere inside of you that is growing, that is threatening your life. You don't even know. Maybe you have a liver problem and it is eating gradually. You don't even know whether it is eating, how deadly it is. It is eating gradually and it is causing you headache. But all you are thinking is the headache. You just go and buy paracetamol and take. But you're not thinking, why is this headache consistent? Maybe you have a brain tumor, or maybe a brain cancer, or something is happening inside of your body in one of your organs that need to be diagnosed. But yet you are fighting the symptom, going to buy medicine for the headache, whereas the source is there. And as much as you keep treating the symptom, you'll still keep having it reoccur until the source now overwhelms your system and destroys everything, and it becomes too late. Why do you have things like AIDS? You have AIDS because HIV was not uncovered on time. So it grows into AIDS and then it becomes too late and then the person is killed. But at that point of HIV, somebody might have headache. They just go and buy paracetamol and take. But they don't know they have HIV because it's not diagnosed. And at that point of HIV, it can be treated. Managed, But because they are looking at the symptoms, they never went for diagnosis. They kept buying paracetamol, they kept buying flagyl, they kept buying whatever they're buying, the antibiotic, taking it. When they purge, they buy antibiotic, they buy flagyl and take it. They want to stop the purging. When they have headache, they buy paracetamol. Whereas there is HIV virus inside of their body. But yet, because they have not rightly diagnosed the problem, they are treating the symptom, and then before you know it, they are wiped off. The same way these people are fighting the symptoms. They go to break banks, they go to attack, go to burn tires on the streets, go to do all of these things, whereas Fulani is recruiting, forcing them into election, recruiting. It is developing into AIDS. It is growing into AIDS. It is on the HIV level now. It is growing into AIDS. The people are still allowing it. They are treating the symptoms, burning tires on the road, telling you that, hey, we no go agree. Now we be the people. They break the ATM machines, automated teller machine. It's not ATM machine. Sorry for that error. They break the ATM, they loot the bank, they take everything they want to take there, and then they are doing all of that. But Fulani is still recruiting. They are bringing weapons. Their men are going into your bushes. They are doing everything. They are taking your space. They are sending their men into your midst. They are reading you very well. They understand your psyche. You like getting yourself busy with symptoms. They understand your psyche. You like getting yourself busy with symptoms. So they know you very well. They have programmed you that way because Britain has programmed you using the tool of slavery. And so they know that you will always want to come to fight to treat the symptoms. And they know that when they kill two of you, you go and sit down. When they kill two of you, you go and sit down. And then you regroup again later when they bring another deadly thing against you. And then you are still fighting the symptoms until when Fulani finally takes over. And then Sharia is now the order of the day. That is when you now know it's too late. It has become a full-blown AIDS. What that man is doing, fighting the donkey. What is that fight going to give him? That fight might even give him his death quicker. Obioma Ikekwachi says, good day, Kelechi. Unfortunately, Nigerian youths are empty in their brains. That's it. Although it's good that this is happening because it will, everything that goes wrong helps us to get closer to Biafra. So those of us who are for Biafra, we know that whatever they do, just like when they sold Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, it is bringing Biafra faster. So even these things that Nigeria youths are doing is also helping us to make the job easier for us. So, but we are only telling them that they are stupid because they should have diverted this energy into joining us to do what we're doing. Adazan says, okay, it's not cracking. All right, thank you, man. Thank you for, it is not cracking. Thank you, man, for that prompting. It's not cracking. Not cracking, Noelin says also. Thank you so much, Noelin. Not cracking. So please check your device. If it's cracking, just check your device. And no, not cracking. It's clear and loud. Thank you so much, Mwigwe. Nemeka, thank you so much for that. Also, thank you so much, Oluchunwago. The network is fine. Thank you so much. So we have from the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, the truth is established. So we know that it's not cracking now. So yet people are trying to maintain. You know, I think that's what you're trying to say, Ngozi Elizabeth. You're trying to say people are trying to maintain. So you can imagine the level of what is happening. Who is talking restructuring after millions of Biafrans killed? I wonder why we will talk about restructuring. Can never give you anything. You know, so my brother who talked about restructuring, you know, it's not the solution. It's not the solution. Restructuring does not give you anything here. And Chukwuemeka, restructuring is not the way. No. Restructuring is out of it. It's out of it. So it's out of it. So Ngozi says, yet people are trying to maintain what is not working. Okay, that's what you were trying to say, Ngozi Elizabeth. Thank you so much for that. Yes, they're trying to maintain what's not working because they seek after symptoms. They think that symptoms is actually the problem. They don't understand that there's a problem that brings about the problem of the symptom. The symptom is the secondary problem, but the primary problem is the source of that symptom. And that is where Nigeria is the problem. Nigeria is the fundamental problem. Now, let me ask you something, everybody. Let me ask you something. BBC today was saying that Nigeria is the biggest economy. They always say it's a narrative. Everybody says the biggest economy in Africa. Now, let me ask you. Now, they are claiming that it's the biggest economy in West Africa. Why do you ask yourself, why do they always say that Nigeria is the biggest economy in Africa? Why do they call Nigeria the biggest economy in Africa when it is not reflecting in your life? The per capita, income is low. What you earn is so low. The minimum wage is so low, and yet they said it is the biggest economy in the world. Now let's reason it together now, because I want to talk to these one Nigerianists. Now I'll still go on to the messages, and then of course look at the messages that you have sent. Or maybe let me finish it. Let me finish it before I go to that. And then so we can move on from there. Mary Ike says, Biafra, we know what we want, and it's out of Nigeria completely and be our own nation. That's what we want, to be on our own nation. That's what we want. So, and we have, sorry, my brother, calling us black is not by color, but by mindset. And I'm not sister. Yeah, that's true. That's it. It's by mind. They just paint you. They actually, what they meant is that we are evil. They are good. And that was one of the narratives they came with when they came to colonize us and put us in slavery. They demonized us. So that black you see they call us is another way of demonizing us. That is why you see them in the Roman Catholic stuff. They brought this image where one dark man, one dark colored man is on the ground, and one fair colored man is holding a sword, having an angelic wing and looking beautiful, and the man on the ground is having a horn, representing us on the ground and they over us, and then putting us under their slavery, under them, So that's the representation. So it's not about skin color. It's about what they have tagged us to be, evil. Britain's Mazi Nnamdi, they should have taken their fight to Aso Rock, where the criminals implementing these atrocities work. Yes, Everest. You can imagine if all of them have said, because of this, we are supporting Simon Ekpa on the no election. If they have said it with their mouth, you would have seen that the revolution would have been massive. That is even when we would have taken the fight, really. And from there, everybody takes it from their community. We want our freedom. Wow, Mazi Nnamdi, this analysis is really amazing. It's exactly what is happening to Nigeria. Yes, Mary Kay. Thank you so much, Mary, for that. It's just exactly what is happening. John Almeida says, Ndewo Mazi Nnamdi, thank you so much. John, good to have you again today. And thank you. Ogidi Phillips says, I have a question for you, sir. Please ask me the question, Philip. Ask me the question. When are the situation, Philip Ogidi? When are the situation? Is that the question? I'm not getting that question well. Please ask the question very well so that I can understand. When are the situation? Please, our eyes are on the ball and no in between in our resolution of no election in Biafra land. Rigidly cast in stone. Yes, I understand the message. It's rigidly cast. Cannot be eradicated, eliminated, or taken away. It is written and engrafted into the stone. And so it had become a milestone for our actions. So definitely that is what it is. Now, I was talking about the issue of Africa being the biggest economy in Africa. You know, please, does anyone have a fractional information I hear, but not sure if Finland is trying to charge MSC to court? I don't want to believe it. No, it's not true. Please, I don't know. At least by now we should have, this message have been going around. We have been saying that that thing is a farce. It's just it's fallacy. It's false. It's the handwork of enemies. Mitch you. All right. So maybe you have not gotten the information. Please try to join on Twitter. Try to join the spaces where you can get information faster. You know, so that you don't, this thing has been settled since, as soon as the message came in, as soon as I saw it last night, I looked at it, I said, in the first place, I said, how can Finland be giving Simon Ekpa a letter at night? Does it make sense? Because during his broadcast, if it was there, he would have mentioned it during the broadcast, which happened around 7 p.m. Biafra time. And as at that 7 p.m. Biafra time is about 8 p.m. in his time, or 9 p.m. in his time, I can't remember now, or 8 p.m. his time. So if he has not gotten the letter at that 8 p.m. his time, then how comes Finland is giving him letter at night? Is that an official time to give a letter? It doesn't make sense. So that alone told me that this is rubbish. That letter is not real. Because if he had not gotten the letters at that time, he's supposed to get the letter during official time in the office. That's where the letter comes. So those people who plan that evil are even daft. You want to bring it, you should have brought it at an official time. Maybe you want to play your game very well to deceive people. But you brought it at night. Your letter came in at night. Hey, Finland has issued a letter at night. It doesn't make sense, for God's sake. Why are we this daft? That is why we are not Nigerians. We are intellectuals. We reason things out. So quickly, intellectuals would have known that they are bringing a letter at night. It doesn't hold waters, because if it's an official letter, Finland will not send him a letter at night. They'll send him a letter during the official hours of work, and they'll send it to his office. Official hour, and then he would have gotten it before the last night broadcast, because last night broadcast he was, saying that Finland, waving the Finland flag and doing everything about Finland and thanking Finland, and at night. And then letter comes at night. It doesn't make sense. So that alone tells you that that letter is flawed. And I told people also on Twitter that if that letter is real, I tell you, BBC will be the first to publish it. BBC will be the first to publish the letter. You will not hear it from any source, but from BBC first. Because they are so concerned about Nigeria. And if you listen to the publicity and all of that, what they are doing now, they are talking about the election. They are talking about how people are looking for money, and how the new election, how people should go for the election, so that when they go for the election, things will now work better for them. Look at the announcement that so-called mask wearer made today, talking about the money. Now, if you can imagine what he said, he was critically talking about, he was promoting election. He said people should go and vote. Now ask yourself, why are they always talking about election? If it will profit you, why do you think they will talk about something that will profit you? Now, these people are bringing out policies that are killing you, yet they are forcing you into election. The simple question you should ask yourself, why are they thinking of me going for election always? When you know they are your enemies, how do you think they're going to promote what will benefit you? Then you should know that whatever they are promoting does not benefit you. Now, the next point is this. Why is it that some of our people are now supporting, especially those ones who say they are for Biafra, they are pro-Biafra? Why are they on the same page with the zoo, the Fulani Caliphate, against sit at home? That tells you, as Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said, anytime the zoo is in line with your words, or they hail you for what you are doing, or what you are saying is what they are saying, just know that you have deviated. They tell Nigeria the biggest economy in Africa because that's where they get their biggest loot. Thank you so much, Everest. You have answered it partially. In fact, you have answered it. You have answered it. They call it the biggest economy in Africa because that's where they get the largest loot. That's where they steal more. It is not about your economy, because when you define the economy of a nation by the economy of the people individually, it is not the economy. It's not just general. Just come and define economy. You define the economy based on the livelihood and the life of the people, the quality of life of the people. Economy should be determined by the quality of life of the people. But what? They get the biggest thieving of crude oil, of gas, of natural resources from Biafra land, and so the economy is the largest in Africa because they get more of the loot from our land. So you should now understand, those of you who are going around, Nigeria is the biggest economy. That's why we must remain one. That is why we cannot break. That is why we should be together. We should remain one because it is the biggest economy. For God's sake, it is not about the size. It is not about the number. It's not even about you. It's about what they are taking from your land. So don't be foolish. If you say, oh, we have to vote, we have to keep Nigeria one. So let's keep Nigeria one so that we can continue to be the largest economy in the world, in Africa. You are stupid. As Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said, you're a baboon, you're a monkey. We have to start talking like Mazi Nnamdi Kanu now so that they will understand, because you will talk and talk and talk, they'll still be doing the stupid things. Please like this video, share it on all your social media platforms, subscribe to the channel if you have not. We need to enlarge the scope of this channel so that the message will reach people all over the nations of the world. People can access it easily. So the more you like it, the more you share, the more you subscribe, you help the channel to go far. It is the largest economy because that is where they do the largest stealing. Nigeria is where Britain does the largest of stealing because the stealing they do helps them to even pay their proxy, the Fulanese. It is so large that Britain, a whole nation called Britain, will steal. Their alliances, their partners all over the world also steal. And then even the Fulanis steal, and yet the resources is not finishing. That tells you how large it is. Now you can imagine if you are able to block all this stealing. Britain, the whole of Britain is stealing, Fulani is stealing, their alliance is stealing. You are able to block it, and now we have our nation. All they are stealing is now kept back. Now, minus what they are stealing from what is being declared as during budget, minus what they steal, which is more than what they declare in budget. You imagine yourself now stopping and getting your nation. Now adding that budget that is for the whole Nigeria, that is stolen from your land, that goes to the whole Nigeria. And that's budget being in your area now in Biafra land. And then the whole thing they steal, now also you bring it back and they don't steal it. And it now becomes, Britain comes to buy your oil as they will buy your gas as they are supposed to buy. And all the nations come to buy the things as they are supposed to buy. And all of these monies now come to your land. You can imagine the surplus you will have having your own nation. You can imagine the surplus you will have having your own nation. Having your own nation, the surplus you will have. Just imagine now. Let me give you an example. Maybe I'm going to explain it in a way that people will understand, especially those Nigerians, because they are not intellectuals, so they need to, you need to use simple things to explain. Now, let's say you have a family. You have 2 children, and you have a wife, a husband, 2 children in the house. And then the wife is working. The man is not working. The children are they are all adults. The children are not working. So only the woman is working. The children are waiting to go to school. They all depend on the woman to bring the money for school. The man depends on the woman to look for money to go and look for a job. And he's not looking for a job. He goes to drink and uses it to go and sleep with women. The woman has to take care of the house, the food stuff, everything. The woman has to take it to pay the house rent, the bills. And yet the woman has a shop, a massive shop, which she's doing business. But the man that is stealing, the man that the woman is taking care of, is still going to the woman's shop to take things from the shop. The man's family members still come to the woman's shop to take things from the shop. They don't pay for it. Now, I want you to look at it critically. Let me give the analysis again. Here is a woman who is working for the family. She feeds the husband. The husband has no job. She feeds the 2 children or 4 children. She's the one taking care of them in school, paying their bills in school, paying the house rent, paying the house bill, the light bill, the electricity bill, the water bill, paying every bill from the woman. She also gives the man money every day to go in for work, but the man goes to sleep with harlots and dash small girls the money. The man also has his family members who come to the woman's shop, maybe a restaurant. They come and they eat whatever they like, and they don't pay. And they take extras to their house. Every day they come to the woman's shop to eat, to take whatever they want to, go to her supermarket, take everything they want to take. They don't pay. The man also takes and dashes his girlfriends, dash them, take from the woman's shop. The woman's shop is suffering. She is struggling. She is still working, feeding the family. And then one day, the woman now realizes that it is better, rather than her dying on time, she needs to be saved from this anomaly. She decides to file for divorce or divorce, whatever it's called. And then she takes her children with her. And then now she leaves the man. Now everything she's earning comes between her and her children. That means it is the right investment, because investing on her children is the right investment. The light bill and everything is also the right investment, because it's not a waste. The money she was given to the husband, no more. So she has ceased funding the man and funding his excesses. That is his girlfriends and all of that. The man's family coming to her shop to loot the shop, no more. So you see, she now her shop begins to boom. Anybody who comes to the shop must pay. The money she's investing on the children is right investment, because the children are going to grow and become people on their own and even support her. So she's no more losing money through the husband, who is a liability. Not just a liability, a dangerous liability, because one, the man does not have the same vision with the woman. That means they are not compatible. If they have the same vision, the monies that he's collecting from her and all the things that he's doing to milk and put her down, he will not do it. So which means they are not compatible. So rather than staying with the man by compromise, it is better she gets off, because living with someone by compromise is deadly. It's dangerous. It distorts your progress. It restricts your future. And it destroys your access to destination. So you live by compatibility, not compromise. When you want to marry, marry by compatibility, not compromise. Not because she has money, not because she has connection, not because, live by compatibility, not compromise. You must understand that two of you are having same focus. You must not be in the same job, but you have the same focus. You must understand all of this stuff. So that is what it relates also to Nigeria. Now, she has saved herself from an incompatible relationship, which Nigeria also is an incompatible relationship, because we don't have the same focus. Culturally, we don't have the same focus. Politically, we don't have the same focus. Structurally, we don't have the same focus. In everything, we don't have the same focus with the Fulanis. Thank you so much, Chijoke. He said the family can never get progress. Rather, the family will go into bankruptcy. But you see, the woman have been able to save the situation by identifying the problem. The problem is that I am still with this man. Once I disconnect with this man, I am going to save the resources. I am going to save my business. I am going to have the right money to invest in my children, and it will make me to lose the to lose the ability and to stop the excesses. It is the same way. Once we get our freedom, Britain and all their allies will no more steal our resources. They will buy them from us, which means more money is coming in. Those people who have been stealing because we are slaves under the name Nigeria, aside Britain and other people, Britain and all their allies who have been stealing from us, will not be able to steal again. They will have to come and do business legitimately with us. So which means more money is coming in. Two, the money, the resources that has been taken from our land sold out, which we would have been able to practically convert to more valuable products rather than selling them as raw materials. We will now be able to convert them to valuable products, finished products, and make more money from them rather than wasting our natural resources. For instance, your oil is being taken outside, going to the process outside and come to sell to you more expensive, whereas you have the oil. That's an example. Three, the money that is being taken from your land that goes to all other 200 million people will now stay with your nation, which is about 80 million people. So now, in the midst of that, it becomes excess for you, because rather than the money being spread among 200 and something million people, it is only used, you know, in that circle of just 80 million people. So look at it. You have saved them from stealing. You have saved yourself from Britain is no more stealing from you. You have saved yourself from, you know, being a raw material nation where they're stealing, where they call it the biggest economy. They steal your resources and then make out the big, finished products from your resources and come to sell to you in a very more expensive, and they sell to you very expensive, and then you still buy it with the money that they gave you lower for your raw materials, and you now have to borrow to make up the money to buy it from them. Oh, people don't understand. I don't know why Nigerians don't understand. I don't know how they want to understand this thing again. I don't know how I'm going to. God will help me. God will help me to keep explaining these things every day for Nigerians to understand. Let me go to the messages anyway, so that I can see what is on the ground, so that I need to relate with you also. And Chukuma Ali says, "All hail Biafra. That is the only way." Yes, so my brother, Mrs. Tadazan says that this letter even misspelled EPA. Yes, of course. That alone shows that it is just that letter. Hey, it's very funny, you know. So once I saw that thing that night, I said, no, this cannot be official. You cannot be bringing a letter to an official letter at night. So it doesn't make sense. So now we have good evening, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Thank you so much, Onwuka. Tony, thank you so much for your message. The family can never get progress. Waba Shijoke says, of course, the family can never get progress. Exactly the vision and idea of the Bororos, which includes a homogeneous religion, is completely incompatible with that of the South. The ideology of the South is totally different. That is it. There is discrepancy and dangerous diversity, you know. Ogechuku says, all hail Biafra. Thank you so much, Ogechuku, for that. All hail Biafra. UK is afraid of losing the free money they're making from Nigeria. Yet, our youth are coming to fight but a very flawed battle to preserve that entity that helps Britain steal from them. That helps Britain steal from them. How can you be keeping a security man who is stealing from you? You have a house, you have your family. Your security man is always stealing your property. Bringing armed robbers to your house to steal from you. And you say you love the security man, you don't want him to go, you keep him. Your life is going. I'm going to go further in this, because I'm going to give you another dimension to this. And it's a dangerous dimension. That is the religious dimension. Kelechi, greetings, please. I saw a post which says Simon Ekpa arrives international airport, but did not give the name of the airport. Please comment if it is true. Just respond by who sent the post. Esther Ofidom, my sister, my lovely sister Esther. Where did you get that post from? That he just arrived, unless if it is just posted, but I've not seen any post like that. He has not gone anywhere to any international airport. So you see, there are some things that we should naturally understand, that they're all kinds of blackmail. People are just trying to create. That means they have sent the letter. Now he has to go to the international airport. He's trying to escape. Maybe that's the impression they're trying to give, that he wants to escape or something, or they are now taking him somewhere, or they have brought him into. Which international airport are you talking about? Let me see. Please, I saw a post which says someone arrives international airport. Forget all those talks. You should even know that it is flawed. You should even know that it's flawed, my sister Esther. It's flawed. It's not. It doesn't make sense. Mobachi Joke says the woman will be progress and have enough. Of course, when she leaves that man, she will progress and have enough. She will even have enough to take care of her children, because when she was taking care of these children, the man was stealing from her. She was not having enough. Sometimes she will pay the school fees twice. Sometimes the children will not have enough money in school to take care of themselves. But now she has saved enough money from her business. No more, they are no more stealing from her business. They are no more stealing the husband. She's no more giving the husband the money that he's going to give to his girlfriends. All the money is now in her hands. So she can now do the right investment. The UK Ben says the UK is building school everywhere for our people to £50,000 to attend. Okay, you're talking about the schools they build around. Of course, they build expensive schools. Oh Lord have mercy. And they also have used the religious houses in our midst to even build the schools expensive that their ministry members cannot even attend. That's the same thing that's happening. Now let's look at it critically here before I continue with the messages. Ask yourself this question. I want to talk to Nigerians. For you to know that the religious design of the British is just to make your brain stay in the level of comatose so that you don't reason well. Why is it that despite the fact that the Bible is a writing about the Hebrews, God's dealing with the Hebrews, which we are part of course, children of Eri, son of Jacob. Who is God? Why is it that the Bible is a book written about the culture and the histories of the Hebrews? Yet, when the Roman Catholic Church and others want to baptize you, they give you a name they call baptismal name or a Christian name, and they give you the name, an English name. Why don't they give you a Hebrew name? Because Christ is a Hebrew. He's not a British or a Briton. Ask yourself that question. That's to tell you how they have manipulated the religious program to deceive you. Whereas the scripture was not a religious program. It's a story, history of what happened with us, what happened to us, and the things that happened to our fathers, and the things that God said, and the laws that God gave to us. Why would they baptize you with a British name or an English name and tell you it's a baptismal name or a Christian name when the doctrine of Christ has nothing to do with Britain? Christ didn't even come from Britain. He comes from the tribe of Judah. Why are you not given a name that is Hebrew as a Christian name? I want our people to reason. Why is your Christian name English? Why is it not Hebrew? Ask yourself this question. Because Christ that came for salvation, that came to give us salvation, he is not from Britain. He's not an Englishman. In fact, he spoke Greek. He spoke Hebrew. Why is it that you are baptized and you are given a British name, you are not given a Hebrew name? That tells you that Britain has ulterior motive and you are a slave because they need to name you. Just like when they cut our slaves, they give them mark. You know, just like you have cows. If you see all these Fulanis, their cows, they write something on their bodies. When you have you go to the marketplace, for instance, where women sell yam, you see that their own yam, they give it a particular mark so that if it's stolen or goes into the other woman's and stuff, you say, this is my yam. Don't you see the mark? That tag is the name. Why is that Antichrist will come with a name? He will give a name, he will give you a name or a number or a name or a mark of his name or identity, a mark of his identity. Britain gives you that identity or that mark as a name, English, so that they will make you understand that the Christianity they brought to you is a religious one, not the one of Christ the Hebrew, but the one of the religious type which they designed under the Roman Catholic structure. Let me open the minds of our people. Because the Christianity brought to you was a corrupted one, it's a British system or a British program to enslave you. So they give you an English name instead of a Hebrew name. You know why? The Christianity they designed is a system, is the one that is meant to enslave you. And they give you a name that will direct your mind towards England or the English. Because when you have an English name, you feel proud of having an English name. I told you about my younger sister, one of my sisters, whose name is Amarachi. And every time you see what she wants to express is Jane Francis. What is Jane Francis? What is your name is Amarachi, for God's sake? No, my name is Jane Francis. because she wants to, and then it makes you begin to reason like you want to be like the British. You want to do everything like the British. You want to dress like the British. You want to, now it is a way of enslaving your mind and moving your mind towards the concept of slavery so that you will not think of freedom. Because when you think about dressing like them, when you think like talking like them as I'm talking now, when you think about, speaking English, when you think about, dressing like them, when you think about them going there, when you think about everything about them, you begin to lose your identity into their own sham design of slavery. That is it. So they give you a baptismal name to make you think like a British, to make you think Britain, so that on your mindset, once you call yourself Jane Francis, the next thing you're thinking is English. So when you think English, you despise your source. So now you despise yourself by telling, no, I don't want to bear Amarachi. I want to bear Jane Francis. She might be listening to me now and say, oh, brother, why are you doing this to me? Yes, I have to do this. Because I say your name is Amarachi, you say your name is Jane Francis. For God's sake. Oh my God. My sister is a slave. I have so many of them in my family. They always want to think slave. Because we have been enslaved mentally. So we prefer to bear. We see our name, we despise our own language, our name. The Hebrew name, but Igbo is part of the Hebrew language because you know why? Because we are from that land. So whatever language we compose as Igbo is part of our source. Just like when you go to the Hebrew, go to the Jewish. For instance, you know the story about the Benjamites and other aspects of Israel. When the Benjamites, when the Benjamites committed an abomination, when they were being killed, what they did was they make you pronounce a word. If you don't pronounce it like the other parts of Israel, they kill you. They believe that you're a Benjamite because of the way you pronounce it. The language is important. It doesn't mean that we have to speak the way Hebrews are speaking, but as long as we have our language and we are from the same source, we are still from the same source. So if they want to rename you, then they should baptize you with the name of an Igbo name or from an Ijaw name or wherever you're from. Baptize you with that name that is from your language that shows that you are baptized in the name of Christ, but in your language, that means you are serving Christ using your culture. But they won't do that because their intention is enslave your mind so that you can. Margaret Jogwe, yes, our eyes must open. I tell you, enslave your mind. So if you have your family people who are just concerned about names, that's why I decided to bear Kelechi, because I've been bearing my parents gave me the name Harrison. Later I changed it to Harry because I wanted to sound posh. I wanted to sound British. Stupid man. I wanted to be unique, British. I discovered that, of course, if you look at it, Harry is supposed to be the first. Means the head of the house, so which means that my name is supposed to be Harry. But I was so concerned about that slavery name. And I saw my people when they get baptized, they tell me my name is Priscilla, my name is Priska, my name is this. They were just giving us all of that. And I have so many Catholic members. Roman Catholic. Anyways, it's not Catholic because Catholic means universal, so it's Roman Catholic Church, Roman style, Roman's Universal Church. And everybody wants to have that English name. And I begin to wonder what's going on because we have lost our identity. That is where religion becomes the dangerous aspect of what we are talking about. The slavery is embedded strongly in religion. That is why today they impoverish you. You want to travel to UK. And so religion will be the same source you will use to travel to UK. Now, you want to go to America, you want to go to US, you want to go to UK, you want to go to, US and UK. You want to go to America, it's the same as US anyways. You want to go to the Caribbean, you want to go to Asia, you want to go to Turkey, you want to go everywhere they are developing. Ask yourself this question. When I want to go to these places, I want our people to think, say these things. Why is it that when I want to go to this place, it is still the same religious pastor I'm going to go to meet, pastor, pray for me, I need visa. And this pastor is going to pray for you to go. It's a place where people still do. When I prayer, people decided to fought, they fought, and they decided to make policy to build these places. You can to go. That the place for you to go is the place that people fought with blood. But yet, it tells you to pray. I don't know whether you can please. Am I still coming out clear? Because it seems my network is low here. But yet, your pastor will tell you to go and pray and fast to get visa. Religion. They use religion to so they make you see it as a miracle to go out to where they fought to develop. But it is not a miracle for you to pray, or it is not a miracle for you to stand in your place and say, no way. These people have exploited us. They even stole our resources. Now, where they stole your resources to go and build is where you are fasting and praying, and then you get a visa. You say, praise God, I've got visa to go to the place they stole your resources to build. The place they stole your resources to build, that is where you go to God and say, Lord, pastor, please pray for me. I want to get visa to go. And you say it's a miracle to go where they plundered you to build. Is that not stupidity? Religious slavery. Nigerians, are you listening to me? You are a slave. Britain came, stole all the resources, took it to their nation, built the nation with your resources. You are now here. They dropped the religion to you. You now held the religion to your heart. Under the auspices of that religion, you go to meet your pastor. Pastor, please pray for me. I want to go to UK. I want to go to UK to look for greener pastures. You now pray. Then, of course, they will tell you that it is God that has given you the visa. And then you now give testimony. You now pray. You now take the flight. You're so happy. You now get into that land where they stole what God has given to you to make your own nation great. They stole it and made their nation great. God, you are now thinking that it is God that gave you a visa to go to that nation where they stole what God gave you to make your nation great, because you refuse to use it to make your nation great. They stole it and use it to make their nation great, and you now pray yourself into it, or think that God have made you to go there to go and enjoy, and you say it's a testimony. God has blessed me, or I'm now in UK. Whereas the resources that was used to build that UK, what are your resources which you would have used to build your land? And if you have decided to say no to slavery, if you have decided to say no to one Nigeria, if you have decided to say, no, I no more belong to Nigeria, I'm not part of Nigeria, I need my nation, you would have saved those resources. You would have built your land. Your land will now become glorious. Your land will now become powerful. You no more need to pray for visa to go somewhere else, because your land is your land and it is developing because you stood for it. The reason why you keep praying and fasting, and the reason why you go to places where people pray and fast, and those places where you have more poor people, is because they always do the wrong thing. They think that prayer answers all things, whereas the Bible says money answers all things. They think that prayer answers all things. That's it. It's a hard truth. I have to say it. That's why I said I'm going to stand for the truth at all times. You are a slave, and you are like this guy. You are a slave, and you are like this guy. Some of you will still be religious. You will say, I reject it in the name of Jesus. I cannot be like this guy. But the truth about it is that your action proves so. Britain steals your resources, takes it to their land, develop their land, gives you religion, makes you believe in religion, and under religion, you refuse to fight for what is yours. Rather, they tell you to pray. And then you go to pray that you want to get visa to go to the place where they store your resources to build. And then when you go there, you now say it's a miracle. And then your land that has the resources, they are still stealing the resources from your land. You don't want to come back and build your land. And what you keep doing is fighting the symptoms. You come out to protest. But when you see people fighting for freedom, you fight the people fighting for your freedom. I'm going to stop here for today. I'm going to continue on this note tomorrow. But I want to tell you guys that we must begin to reason, especially those Nigerianists or those Nigerians. You must wake up from being a Nigerian to become an intellectual. Let me go to the messages quickly before I close. Thanks, Mr. Kelechi. The zoo has fallen. MNK has spoken to the indigenous people. Buhari will make everything, but including his southern politicians, fools to break Nigeria. God bless MNK. Thank you so much, Ronnie, Nathaniel. And that's just the fact. Everything they are doing, and the so-called masked man called Buhari, everything they are doing is to make sure that the prophecies of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will come to pass. Biafra holds so much prospect and very sacrifice to realize it is worth it. And that's just the truth. We have the prospects, we have the sacrifices, we have shown it and all of that. Chijioke says the story of this woman is exactly the story of your Nigeria government and Biafra nation. That's it. That's it, the story I was trying to analyze to you guys. And we lost nothing except our chains. We lose nothing except, we lose nothing except our chains. Adazan says, yes, that's it. That's it. We lose nothing except our chains. And that's the fact. That's the fact. So seeking for freedom, you don't lose anything. Perot says we must take back what belongs to us, and that is what we are determined to do. That's why we said no election, and every Nigerian must stand to this also, so that you become an intellectual. The more you say, hey, we must go for election, or the more you say we must fight Simon because he's talking about no election, or Finland must extradite him. Finland must do this. Finland give him 24 hours. Finland give him 32 hours. Finland give him to. The more you do that, the more you show that you're a Nigerian. You are not an intellectual. Because you are very like a baboon, like Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said. Ben says, brethren, please, let's stick together and keep pushing. Our labor shall not be in vain. Thank you so much, Ben, for that. Our labor shall not be in vain. I saw it from Critical News. Okay, Critical News, Esther Fidon. Okay, we are going to confirm that. Let's know, maybe he's going somewhere, in Europe to do some things. Maybe that's where, but it's not about the zoo. It has nothing to do with the zoo, Esther. It has nothing to do with the zoo. So we'll check it out. We know why the movement, because I have not gone to know about that yet. Stella Uzuka says, Chukwu Okike Abiyama will surely grant us our heart desires in Jesus' holy name. He said, thank you so much, Stella Uzuka, for that. Thank you so much, Stella, for that. Edith Nedu, it's been a long time. Where have you been, Edith? Oh, my God. Good afternoon, Mazi Kelechi. You are really saying the reality. God bless you. He said, thank you so much, Edith Nedu. Maybe you always watch, you don't comment anyways, but you decide to comment today. I believe, because you're always here, to watch. I usually think that Critic News or Tassim News is with us. If you don't. Well, I'm not saying they're not with us anyways, but we have to look at the content of their news to know if they're with us. It is the content of the news and the designs that make us know who is with us and who is not with us. So, greetings to you guys and your Biafrans, your Biafrans in general. Okay, you Biafrans in general. Always watch you guys after work. One love. Thank you so much, Madubugu. Thank you so much, Madubugu. Thank you so much for that. And please like this video, share it. Let this message go far. The things we have talked about in this thing, you'll not get it anywhere. It is something that is inspired from God. So please share it on all your social media platforms, and also subscribe to the channel so that you can reach other people, and like the video. The more likes we have, the more you see that people want to watch what you like. So please get it on, subscribe, and share all over. You can download the video, cut the aspects you think that need to go to the people that need to hear it, and send it to them. It is very, very important. It's very easy to download. You just go and copy the link, and you download the app, and maybe Save from Net. There's an app called Save from Net. Very easy way to download. You download that app called Save from Net. Once you copy a link, you copy it you paste it on that app. you know, and then you just click the download button. It will just download everything fast, whether from Facebook, whether from Twitter, whether from YouTube, wherever. Save from net is an app. It will help you save these documents, and then you now take it. You now download an app, edit video, and all of that. Some apps are like that. You cut the video, cut the side you want to send to somebody for them to hear the message, and then they will now listen to it, and then you get it done. So that's it. Udoka, okay, Udoka wants to say our people should start think and reasoning. Our people must do that, and we must help them do that by sending the messages to them. Mazi Kelechi, exactly. Margaret Jogwe says, thank you so much, Margaret Jogwe. And very true, Kelechi Stella Uzuka says, thank you so much for that. Also, Mazi Kelechi, you are always on point in all your broadcasts. Our people have brain, but they're not using it. Please don't stop teaching them. All hail Biafra spokesman, Mazi Samonekpa Dragon, and our hero, Alex Uche. Thank you so much. Yes, all must hail Biafra. Thank you so much. Stella Uzuka says, Chai, my people perish for lack of knowledge. That's the truth. Knowledge makes us perish. I mean, so lack of knowledge makes us perish. That's the truth. Lack of knowledge is what makes people perish, not because they are not prayerful, but because they lack knowledge. You know, because prayer does not work, you know, without knowledge. It requires knowledge to work. So that's the truth. Stella Uzuka says they have deceived us for too long, for a long time. Okay, for a long time. Uzuka, yes, they have deceived us, and now we have come to know, and that's why God is making us know, and we're going to walk in that knowledge of what we know. Udoka once says our people should start thinking and reasoning for once. Yes, you have corrected the earlier statement. Thank you so much, Udoka. Martins Augustus. Your name sounds like the baptism name to Martins Augustus. God bless you, Mazi. Thank you so much, Martins. You have to get your Biafra name because they have baptized you with their English name. You know, Eliezer Thomas says, good evening, sir. Mazi Kelechi Ambrose. Thank you so much, Eliezer Thomas. Thank you. Good evening from here. Also, Thomas says, Eliezer is in the house with you. Mazi Kelechi Ambrose. Thank you so much, Eliezer. Of course, I know it's you. I know you're the one here in the house. Good to have you, my brother. Always here. You know, Margaret Jogwe says, yes, so our eyes must open by force. And that is it. It has to open. Nothing will stop it. And that's what we're doing. MKA, your analysis are so superb and very accurate too. Eliezer Thomas, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate you. Mary K says, to preserve our culture and race, Biafrans should name their children Biafra names. Names affect people's lives. That is just the truth. Names affect the people's lives. So if you think that your name does not make you reason in a particular way and preserve your life, or make you actually face a particular destination, then you should think twice. Because name has a way, when you keep calling somebody by a particular name, they begin to reason along that line. And that is why we need to do the needful to begin to get our Biafra name. And of course, time goes on, we're going to make sure that our Biafra language will be the main source of what we do and how we speak. Jude wants to say, well done, brother. One love. Thank you so much, Jude. It's good to have you here. My brother Freeman says, good evening, bro. Thank you so much, Freeman. Good evening to you also. Eliezer Thomas says, PVC is also increasing the years of your slavery under British royal government, neocolonialism, and Fulani jihadist oligarchy forces of Zugeria, aka Nigeria, fraudulent Nigeria. Thank you so much, my brother. That's the analysis. Very great one there. And that's the truth. And the fact Stella Uzuka says very true. Kelechi, thank you so much, Stella Uzuka, for acknowledging that. And Tina Martin says, Mazi Kelechi, Odogu, Anyi Ejemba. GCK one name. Thank you so much. I need your Jemba. Okay, this GCK one name. Thank you so much, Tina Martin. Thank you for that one. I appreciate you for that. Thanks for the compliment. Of course, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. God have mercy. Margaret Jogwe says, of course, God will have mercy. We have to start walking in knowledge, and that will help us. And the mercy of God will be upon us. Austin Future says, good evening, Mazi Kelechi. Thank you so much, Future. Thank you so much, my brother. Good to have you. And Meleza says, say no to collection of PVC, aka poverty verification and validation card. We say no collection of PVCs. PVC is not important to you. You don't need it. Living in your home land helps your homeland to develop and enrich the economy. That will attract foreigners to come and invest in your land. Thank you so much, Mary Kay. You have just said it all there. It will help to attract Odi Kwaigu. Oh, my Biafrans, Stella Uzuka. And that's the truth. It is wonderful. Odiego, Thank you so much, Utuka. Thank you so much for that. Say no to the collection of PVC. Okay, yes, my brother have corrected that. Elias Thomas have corrected that. Tina Martensas, you say, please, where is Biafra Unite? Ogene Biafra. And Tina Martensas, your name is also sounding like the baptismal name, you know, from this, from the British religion. Thank you so much, Tina. Biafra Unite is doing his own thing, and he's there. And together we'll meet when Biafra comes. Margaret Tejogwe says, I have shared already, and I do share every time I watch your program. Thank you so much, Margaret Tejogwe, for that. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And everyone also keep sharing. Madu Aburo Chuku Uche. Peter Obi is our next president, whether devil like it or not. Look at this look at this Nigerian. Look at this Nigerian. You can imagine. I tell you, the Nigerians don't listen. You just say anything they like. All must hail Biafra, the rising sun. I will encourage that. Look at even the name he has, Uche, and he calls himself Uche. You better go back to this video and listen to it from the beginning, so that your brain, if you didn't watch it from the beginning, your brain should come down so that you can get sense. Obed, thank you so much for that, Obed. Future also says, thank you very much, Mazi Nnamdi. You guys are doing a great job. Keep it up. And God bless you all. Thank you so much, my brother. God bless you too. And the last message here, MU said the only tool of a suppressor or oppressor is fear. Once that fear is dead, the oppressor himself, however, the oppressor himself know it is over. That's it. That's it. You're correct. Thank you so much, all. I appreciate you guys for joining, for being part of this message. I'm going to play that video again to portray Nigerians, and I want you to see how Nigerians behave and how they reason. You don't fight the symptoms. You go for the real battle. You don't fight a donkey, for God's sake. What do you gain by fighting a donkey? Nigerians are fighting the donkey rather than to fight the monster that is killing them. The donkey is an innocent stuff. In fact, Jesus sat on the donkey and the donkey took him into Jerusalem. Nigerians are fighting the donkey, whereas the donkey can take them to their destination. The donkey represents the animal that is at peace with humanity. The donkey is not an animal you fight. You fight the monster because the monster can kill you. Nigeria is the monster. Don't fight the donkey. Don't fight those who want to carry you into Jerusalem, who want to carry you into freedom. The donkey represents the move into Jerusalem, just like Jesus sat on the donkey. The ass, the donkey, he sat on it and he took him into Jerusalem. And you know what? When Jesus entered into Jerusalem, he brought freedom to humanity. The same way also, this donkey, this guy is fighting, is not what he's supposed to be fighting. He's supposed to be fighting the monster. Nigerians today are fighting the donkey, which is IPOB, which wants to take them into the promised land. IPOB is the donkey, and all it can do is to take you into the promised land. But yet Nigerians are fighting the donkey rather than fighting the monster. Stop fighting the donkey. Go fight the monster called Nigeria. That is where you should put your strength. Don't fight IPOB. Don't fight freedom fighters. Don't fight those who are seeking for real freedom, whether they are part of autopilot or not. Don't fight them. They are the donkeys that will take you into freedom, take you into Jerusalem. And that is what the donkey is. So if you are fighting the donkey, you are fighting the wrong battle, and you are a Nigerian. You're not an intellectual. Be an intellectual. Leave the donkey alone. Allow the donkey take you into the promise, and allow yourself to fight the monster. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate you all. Let me look at the last messages that just came in now. I've just given an explanation of the donkey to you guys. God save. Chinedu says, all hail Biafra. Thank you so much. God save. All hail Biafra. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for that. And of course, Obed says, God, more grace to you all who have resolutely stand so firm. Anyone against Mazi Nnamdi is just wrestling their time, wasting their time, which will never stop him from being formidable, resolute. Yes, that's it, my brother. Thank you so much. And Edith Neri says, I always watch you, Mazi, but I don't comment. We Biafrans love you. Thank you so much, Edith. I'm happy to hear that you're always watching, and of course also sharing. Thank you so much. I'm calling you immediately after this program, Mazi Nnamdi. No problems. You can call me immediately, because after that, I'm going to be going to other things, other programs too that I need to carry out. So call me immediately the program ends so we can talk briefly. Thank you so much, all. I appreciate you. Now I'm telling those Nigerians, stop fighting the donkey. The donkey is meant to take you into Jerusalem, like the donkey took Christ into the Jerusalem. The donkey is the ass, and it needs to take you into Jerusalem. When you keep fighting the donkey like this foolish Nigerian, you would end up being ridiculed and destroyed. The monster will eat you up and destroy you. Thank you all. I appreciate you all. God bless you. Very good. I love you all. Stay good. Stay safe. Tomorrow, meet you again, same time, Biafra time, 4 p.m. Biafra time, on another critical part of the program. Tomorrow, we're going to be having a Why Africa program. We're going to have some guests too in the house. Thank you so much, all. I appreciate you. I love you all. Chukwuka loves you most. Stay focused. No election in Biafra land. And that is where we are going. Biafra is our destination, and we're going to go there. And the donkey will take us into our destination. Thank you so much. God bless you. Very good.